What's up, my comic comrades? As we all know, Star Wars Episode 9 Rise of Skywalker has finally hit movie theaters. And I saw it, so I'm here to give you my spoiler-free thoughts. Rise of Skywalker brings an end to the 9-film arc for the Skywalker saga. So many of us were very curious on how it was going to end. Now, off the bat, I have very mixed feelings about this movie. I didn't love it, and I didn't hate it. It's just kind of there. I'm actually kind of still mulling it over, to be honest, as I just saw it last night. And it usually takes a few days or maybe even a second viewing for it to get my final thoughts. But as of now, I'm kind of indifferent. Now, I personally think you have two categories for this movie. You have the normal average moviegoer who just wants to see an awesome sci-fi action movie. And then you have people like myself who are longtime Star Wars fans and wanted things to wrap up a certain way. Now, the average moviegoer, I think, is going to enjoy this movie. You may have some problems with it as far as pacing, little things here and there, but you're not really going to care too much about the actual Star Wars continuity, as again, you're just someone who wants to go see a fun movie. But if you're a longtime Star Wars fan like me, I think you're gonna have some issues. But before I get into that, I do want to emphasize I did enjoy the movie. There's lots to like about it, especially visually. It looks beautiful. It's a stunning film. The VFX are gorgeous. The lightsaber battles look awesome. All the cool new ships, just everything about the film visually is great. Then you have the score, which was done by the amazing John Williams, who is known as the best film composer of all time. He's done Jaws, Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Harry Potter. The list goes on for days. He's essentially a composing god. So all of that was really good, and I did think the movie was pretty funny. I think J.J. Abrams has a great sense of humor, and his pacing with it was really fun. C-3PO had me laughing the most, and even Finn and Poe had a lot of good lines. I also like Kylo Ren. I know a lot of people have a problem with Kylo Ren for like the entirety of the trilogy, but I personally didn't mind the way his arc wrapped up. But by far, my favorite character in the movie, even though he's not in it that much, was Lando. I, for some reason, have a soft spot for Lando. I just think he's like the coolest guy ever. Like Billy D. Williams, I wish was my grandfather. He's got so much swag, it's not even funny. And seeing him just made me happy. I mean, he was one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars trilogy, and seeing him pilot the Millennium Falcon, which is not a spoiler, that's in the trailer, was so much fun. But with all that said, let's get to the things that disappointed me a bit. Okay, this is gonna be a little hard because I can't get into spoilers because spoiler-free review, but I will say, again, if you are a longtime Star Wars fan, the way they ended things, I personally don't think is gonna be something you're happy with. And that's not even a fault to this movie by itself. I kind of have a problem with the trilogy as a whole in that regard, where I don't know why you would put so much focus on these brand new characters just in 3 movies and try to link them to like all these years and years of history. You're not just talking about the first 6 Star Wars movies. You're talking about the cartoons, Clone Wars, which deals closely with Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan and Yoda. You're talking even about Star Wars Rebels, then even the comics, which are in continuity. So we've been with these characters for a very, very long time. So to kind of not necessarily, I don't want to say push them away, but not make them the focal point was a little bit of a disservice. So for me, I would have wanted things to end a different way. Again, I can't really say because spoilers. The ending I just wish was different. I know some people will be fine with it, especially the new generation, because that's the thing with Star Wars, right? Everyone has their own Star Wars. Like the prequels, when I was growing up, everyone hated them, right? But over the last few years, now a lot of people actually like them a lot because that generation is older now. So maybe another 10, 15 years from now, that's gonna be the same with this new trilogy. But again, I'm from like the OG Star Wars. I grew up with the original trilogy on VHS. My father showed it to me. I was a kid when the prequels came out. So that's my Star Wars, which dealt heavily with all the legacy characters. I mean, the prequels literally give you the history of how Vader became Vader, how Obi-Wan became like this awesome Jedi Master, and so on and so forth. But again, I'm not blaming that solely on Rise of Skywalker. I have a problem with the new trilogy as a whole. Did the new trilogy introduce some cool, fun new characters and have some fun moments? Yes, but if you're gonna call this the bookend to the Skywalker saga, you better make good on that promise. Because again, you're talking about 40 plus years of story that deserves a solid ending for all the people who have been following these characters for all that time, 4 decades. But with all that said, it's done, it's over, this is now canon. But I'm very curious to know what you guys think. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Did you love it or did you hate it? But I will say one thing, Disney Plus has a very bright future for Star Wars. We got Obi-Wan in the works, we got Mandalorian Season 2 coming out, and a secret third project, which is rumored to be either Dr. Aphra or Ahsoka. So we'll see where it goes from here, as it looks like Disney is roping back on Star Wars films, but it looks like they got a bright future on Disney Plus. But that's my thought on Rise of Skywalker. Other than that, we put up a brand new podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and right here on our Variant channel where we talk about our top things of 2019. So be sure to check that out. And if you like the channel, remember, be sure to like and subscribe. It helps us out. But I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.